What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the top of the map in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Matreiuss. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. Kimo deciding Ra on Frozen Wastes. This is absolutely insanity, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how it's going to go. Game number 2 of this best of 3 for the group stages. Wins here matter a lot because the group stage at this point seems to be a very crazy array of wins and losses. So much so that the 4th place, the 3rd place, and maybe even the 2nd place of the Champions League Artemis division might be a tiebreaker. Absolutely insane. So I believe that at this point, Matreiuss is either going to be in 1st or 2nd place, depending on results. But apart from that, everything is currently up in the air, and there's only a handful of games left. I think this is the 2nd last game in the groups. That's how close it is. The games are still mattering at this point of the group stages. So we'll see how it's going to go here for Kimo. He's deciding to pick Ra on Frozen Wastes. Ra's not my favorite god on this map. There's a lot of advantages to be had by playing Norse here, by playing Atlantean here, even playing Greek here. Very, very good against the very good against the Ra, because how do you get control of a 2nd gold mine here? Yes, there's 2 medium gold mines, but things are still very, very difficult as we're starting to see the houses coming up, and Kimo having to play against Matreiuss's Loki. You know, things are not going to be simple here for Kimo in this one. Kimo decided not to go with set again, maybe feeling like Matreiuss might move away from the Loki in game number 2 to potentially picking like Poseidon or something, and he wants to have something a little bit more strong against that Poseidon now that Matreiuss is technically on the game point. Or not game point, but Kimo's on game point. He wants to win this in 2 games. So picking the Ra as maybe a more comfort pick against, say, like Poseidon, or if Matreiuss does decide to pick, say, Uranus or something here, it's going to feel a little bit more comfortable with that Ra. As we do see the villagers now moving up onto this food line here. This is a beautiful amount of food here. If I'm playing this map here as Kimo, I reckon I would have gone for a 4-minute advance time or a 3-minute 48-second advance time here, and tried to throw that town center up immediately. Grabbing this hunt with a barracks going down and starting to make some axemen to defend this would have been a really, really nice start here for Kimo. But he's on the hunt in the middle, which means maybe not as good of an idea to grab the town center. He's probably going to eat the majority of that before everything goes through. So we'll have to see how it all goes. We are seeing the house wall getting thrown up. I love this one. This is a free box here for Kimo to Shifting Sandhurster into. This is something that I was suggesting a while ago that Egyptian players who like the box of doom, do instead of spending all the gold on building some walls. Obviously, you could probably build one wall here to the trees, and you probably only spending 15 gold. But building these houses here do indeed that they're free, and you can get that box in. You have to build the houses anyways. So we'll see how everything's going to go. We see Ptah coming through and Forseti coming through as the villagers are in the center of the map. Matreiuss here is indeed going for his new... Oh, he's got 3 dwarves this time. He's changed it up. But we'll see how it's going to go. Generally speaking, against Ra, if your Ra opponent goes for a fast 2nd town center here, the best response for Loki is generally grabbing a 2nd town center for himself, and he does have a beautiful one here with the elk on this position. So we'll see how things are going to go as the Ulfsark starting to get some harass over here. The Egyptian villagers and the Pharaoh in the early game against the early harass of Loki. Generally speaking, you're not going to be able to stop that town center from going up. If the Ra player wants to, they can actually send the priest over to help out, as well as the Wadget's going to be a big help as well. And we'll see about all of that good stuff. We do have good comment here in the chat. What about the resources the village not gathering when building all the houses? Got Mickey does say that. And all I say is that the houses need to be built anyways. So you're going to be losing out on those resources regardless at some point. Obviously, more resources now is better than more resources later. But we'll see. But you still have to build them nonetheless. So it much of a muchness. As one villager looks like it might be going down here. Is the Pharaoh getting some good damage onto that Hersa? Will it go down? Beautiful micro there from Matreiuss. Manages to keep that Hersa alive as one Ulfsark does end up going down. Two Ulfsarks end up going down here as well. And Matreiuss will have to pull back. Town Center will be up here. And we'll see what Matreiuss' next move in this game is going to be. He drops a Longhouse in his main base here as the Healing Spring going to go down. Generally speaking, we do see town centers coming up. Now, here's a great thing that you could try here from the Loki perspective. If you've got villages in the middle of the map and there's a random snowy pine here, you can just jump onto that to give you that extra 150 wood to get yourself that town center up and see how you're going to go, as we are seeing some more dwarves and gatherers getting trained here out onto the gold mine for potentially a second town center, or we'll see what Matreiuss is going to do. There is another option here for Matreiuss, which would be a Njord timing attack. Could be really strong here, especially on a map like Frozen Waste, especially with the gold mine on this position. Might sound crazy. You're not Odin, so you do have that weakness, or it's less strong of like making hill fort units. They're not quite as good as Loki as they are for Odin, but obviously you will get those myth unit spawns, which could be a boost in those timing attacks as well. Thank you for the raiding party, Killuminati. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope your games went well. As Armory and a Barracks coming up here for Kimo, trying to be a little bit safe here. And we do see Matreiuss has now got the wood to get himself that town center or get himself Hall of Thanes. We'll see which one he wants to grab. As we'll see what Matreiuss is going to be able to find. He does decide to go for the Hall of Thanes here. There is plenty of hunt on the map, so while I don't recommend this strategy, I think Matreiuss is going for it against Ra. The one town center timing attack, Flaming Weapons timing attack, or Mythic Age Hell timing attack, it can work if you catch your opponent off guard well enough. With a double gold mine Frozen Waste in the main base, it can be a little bit more difficult to pull it off because you also need to be pressuring this, maybe also pressuring this. We haven't seen a single Axeman getting trained yet, as we are going to have the watchtowers getting taken out on this position as villagers are getting pulled back into the main base here. Shifting Sands from, and this is why this can be a difficult thing, as we see the, well, I mean, the house is going to get taken out. With Shifting Sands in 5 Hersa, if Matreiuss wants, he can actually juke the tower as well. We see an armory getting thrown up here in an attempt to prevent the Hersa from retreating out of here. More walls coming up on this position as well, as Kimo is ghost building these Hersa in. But the thing about Egyptian buildings is they just don't build that fast, and Matreiuss will be able to escape there. Only one Hersa kill with that Shifting Sands is a huge, huge advantage for Kimo here. Sorry, for Matreiuss here. I would have expected more than that falling, but it turns out that maybe a wall is a better idea. How much more HP do they have? They've got 150 more HP plus a little bit more hack armor. So you might have been able to kill 2 Hersa there with the wall instead of the house. So maybe I've been lying this whole time. Obviously, like an extra Hersa kill would mean worthwhile to put the wall up, but oh well. Another barracks coming up. Kimo back into his main base, throwing the farms down in the main base, about to hit that rain. He will be... Oh, beautiful find there from Matreiuss here. Matreiuss also getting himself Hammer Troll at this point. One of the big things, innovations, if you will, that Matreiuss has made with Loki is the idea that just simply having 2 trolls out means, ooh, these Hersa need to be a little bit more careful where they're running here. But having two trolls out means that you now have a counter to the rock raiding. Now, the innovation that Egyptian players are yet to make against this play is that if you put your pharaoh inside of the rock or put your priests inside of the rock, you can actually take out that troll fairly simply as well without losing the rock, if your opponent isn't going to be defending. And then you have to start thinking about how many units you want to devote to defending against a pharaoh dropping in and out to take out your trolls and things like that. So that would be the next step for the abuse of the Egyptians to kind of work out. But obviously, if you put a priest or a pharaoh into a rock, you are significantly injuring your economy, which can be a big thing for the Loki player. as Matreiuss here, he's still pumping units out. It looks like he's going for a full population assault here in the classical age as he's putting pressure and checking out the town center over there. Not quite able to make anything happen just yet. As Kimo now advancing through Hathor, we've got the villagers over finishing up on this hunt here. They've still got the walrus in the middle of the map here, which Matreiuss will be able to defend really, really easily with the hammer troll, while also thinking about getting himself watchtowers as we see a house coming up on this position. Raiding cavalry searching around. A couple of axemen are out here as the raiding cavalry can start fighting on this position as the Wadjet can help defend. We do see the units turning around and taking this fight with the help of the town center, shooting with the priest empowering. That's doing a lot of damage there as Matreiuss trying to micro this one to keep his raiding cavalry alive, taking out those axemen as best as he can, but he's just not done any decent damage there. The axemen basically all stay alive, as meanwhile we see the units pushing up to the top side of the map. Taking out a barracks here is going to be a really big help, as more axemen falling over here as the Pharaoh does get trapped out there, as finally Matreiuss decides to attack the correct unit there. As the Pharaoh goes down, the raiding cavalry still going after those axemen here. The troll's able to take down spears, able to take down axemen, as he's still putting pressure onto this location, trying to take out that town center here as well. Hathor just about to hit as another troll spawn comes through here for Matreiuss. The villagers in the center of the map now on those walrus. The question is, where is the rock going to be going, as the Psukos is out to help out here as the town center getting taken down. Some mercenary cavalry starting to get produced here from Kimo. Probably not the best choice here. Mercenary cavalry only 20% hack armor. You probably want to be going for the mercenary infantry against this unit composition, but the trolls are out now. If Matreiuss wants, he can get close to that rock and actually take it out, and that's exactly what he's going for right now. He moves the trolls into position to take out that rock. He's not close enough, or is he close enough as the trolls throwing some stones here? The rock has got next to no HP remaining, as it does end up getting sniped down. There, no, it doesn't. The trolls miss 9 HP remaining, as Matreiuss has to pull back for the time being here, and Kimo somehow managing to keep that rock alive with 9 HP. It can be really tough to actually heal this one back up. You have to move it into a position where there's nothing else injured. Idle your priest in order to actually get that rock there to be healed up. It can be a little bit challenging, as the troll here going to throw that rock up and probably snipe the rock down. Nice play there as the rock falls, and we do see an Einhjar spawn as Matreiuss is still putting pressure on to Kimo here. More trolls coming through. Matreiuss' score is dropping here quite considerably. He's losing a lot of units to continue this pressure, but because Kimo has put all of his farms in his main base, he's got the Migdol stronghold up. Matreiuss' pressure here is going to start dwindling ever so slightly here. He's got himself 60 favor. He's got himself tons of trolls here. The priests are going to be coming through, but there's a lot of decent units here to take out those priests. As Matreiuss pulls back ever so slightly, we are seeing the spearmen searching around to try and find some sort of a locust at this point. As the trolls here, they need to be targeting down units. There's still no upgrades for the raiding cavalry here either. Matreiuss has got himself 900 food at this moment. He's way overdone it on the food. Doesn't quite have that 500 gold to go to the heroic age, which he really, really needs. As there's just so many trolls here, with hammer troll doing 14.4 damage per second. The raiding cavalry see the Pharaoh and they target that Pharaoh down immediately here. Matreiuss at this point, he's got himself 2, 3, 4 military buildings only at this point. Definitely needs some more production here to keep this going, this attack going, as the Pharaoh coming back in onto this position here. A couple of priests are out. There's the Herso coming in to try and take out that Pharaoh, and they will immediately finish off the Pharaoh there. One troll falls. Not the biggest of deals there for Matreiuss, but Kimo looks like he's managed to hold here, as now the village is moving over onto the large gold mine on that position as well. And Kimo, after all is said and done, he's got himself 3 priests here. He's moving his unit straight into the trolls, though, taking a ton of damage, as the Ursa gets some beautiful amounts of damage done as an Einhjar comes through. This game is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. There's an armory coming up on this position. Villagers still on the hunt here as the gold is coming through on this position. No pickaxe just yet for Matreiuss. He's definitely missing out on that one at this point. His hands of the Pharaoh coming through for Kimo to keep himself going in this game, as the unit's pulling back. One of the big weaknesses of this troll strategy, which maybe you haven't thought about, Matreiuss hasn't thought about here, is if he does go through Bragi here, which it looks like he's clicked up, his flaming weapons doesn't impact his myth units. You need to have mass human units to make that work, as the Herso is searching around trying to find the villagers on the gold mine, but the villagers are over here for the time being. Meanwhile, this army army does have 4 axemen, but those axemen can get sniped down really fast by the trolls if Matreiuss can focus fire them. As the chariot archers searching around now, there are a whole pack of elk remaining on this position. There is still access to Locust here as well, and that's going to be a huge advantage for Kimo if he can hit that. Look at the villager differential right now. It is very, very sizable as the town center attempting to come up on this position. Villagers moving over onto this gold mine, as it looks to me like Matreiuss wants to pump out battle balls here in the heroic age, but Osiris is on the way here for Kimo, which means Son of Osiris is going to be here, but more importantly, the mummy is going to be able to be built by Kimo to defend against those myth unit spawns and those myth unit being produced out of the temple incredibly easily. With Bragi hits here, there's no units over here to defend against the chariot archers. No locust is being dropped just yet, as the villagers have to garrison into the town center. Villagers are over on this location now, as Matreiuss still hasn't found that this gold mine is getting gathered from. The gold mine in the main base is expired here. Villagers on this position here getting sniped down. Kimo has had enough of Matreiuss's villagers existing on this location and says, please leave, and we can talk about it later. As the siege works coming up over here, more barracks coming down, another rock actually coming out for Kimo, as he's going to be searching around for the rock raids, or not even just the rock raids. This is really smart by Kimo. One, he's going to be able to defend his huge, brutal locusts there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 villages going down as the town center just about up here. These chariot archers can make life a little bit challenging here for Kimo, as a couple more Herso coming back in to finish this town center off, as the troll's going to be able to take this all down. But Matreiuss now on 40 villages is in a tough position right now. He's gotten himself the second town center up. The villagers do get spotted on this position with a market coming up, and hell has been clicked up by Matreiuss immediately here in this game. But now we see Kimo grabbing this town center over here to get himself the 3 town centers. The mythic age has been hit by Kimo as well. And what we were talking about with this rock is not necessarily just to defend the Son of Osiris here, but it's also to defend against a flaming weapons attack. You can pick the villagers up, the units have to chase, and they can't do any damage to the rock. It's a really, really smart way to play. The other thing here that Matreiuss hasn't quite done, which he needs to do, is put up a hill fort and start making those, he has to start making those ballista here. Otherwise, there is no counter to this kind of rock Son of Osiris shenanigans. You can't click flaming weapons because of the rock. You can't take the Son of Osiris down with just units here, as we are seeing a house getting cleaned up, town center up on this position, as the villagers grabbing the gold mines at the top side of the map here, as the army sitting through here. The Nidhogg and Fire Giant, however, will be able to take that rock down, as well as those trolls on the back here are a good option as well. So we'll see if Matreiuss can play it well enough. If he can catch the rock out with those trolls, just move a little bit closer with the trolls than you otherwise would, attack the rock, kill the rock, flaming weapons, clean up the army, clean up that Son of Osiris. He should be in a decent position here, as hell just about to pop here. Matreiuss turning around with those trolls here. They're all going to get taken out very, very simply. Kimo is keeping that rock in a very nice position here, as we see the units moving in. Flaming weapons has not yet been clicked, as the rock is there. There's the flaming weapons, as the trolls in position to target down the rock, but the rock retreating away fast here. Can it go down? And it will go down. The Son of Osiris is massacred there in the rock. The huge play by Matreiuss. He takes out the entire army. He takes out the rock. He takes out the Son of Osiris, and he's going to be able to continue in this game with fierce ability moving forward in this game. Huge play by Matreiuss. Kimo absolutely blunders that position, and Matreiuss, he's now going to start making a movement over onto this gold mine. He needs to take out this town center as well. The villagers on this gold mine here are going to get absolutely demolished by the Nidhogg. Matreiuss can now start spamming out the fire giants as well to boot. Those trolls, not necessarily the most useful unit, but they can actually clean up the mummy incredibly fast, and he does target that one down, keeping his fire giant alive, and the mummy does end up falling there. Trading for a troll is absolute value for Matreiuss as he cleans the army up beautifully. Villagers over here getting absolutely massacred as well. Kimo retreating back into his main base here as he's got he's still got the gold income over here, as we haven't seen, Matreiuss hasn't spotted it just yet. Priest popping out over here as the Hearse are going to be able to take those out, as Axemen need to be produced here for Kimo to hold on to this location, as the Hearse are going to pull back to try and take out this town center here. We see units coming up onto the top side as now Kimo's raids are going to start hitting this gold mine. We were talking about the fact that Matreiuss needed a hill fort on his gold mine, but he hasn't put it down yet. The raids are going to continue there as both players are going to be in so much trouble here from an economic standpoint. Villagers moving up onto this gold mine over here. The market does spot that one. Villagers moving onto this gold mine as well. Going to attempt to grab the town center here, as a fire giant on this position to defend is a really, really nice one, as the Herso can take out the village, the priest there as well, as all the villagers falling here on this location. Villager differential is still double for Kimo though. After all is said and done, Loki's advantage here is basically just in the fact he's got these fire giant, he's got this really strong army, and he's going to have to continue cleaning villages up as Kimo, excuse me, is going to have to try and stabilize here after all is said and done, as a fire giant spawns on this position to hit those villages. There's a priest, however, here, and a pharaoh, as Matreiuss has to pull back, hits the gold villagers over here as the special attack kills off tons of villagers there, as the villagers are retreating back, getting chased down by the Herser. Units pushing up onto this position here to try and take out the town center coming up. The thing is, with Matreiuss getting himself a third town center, he's going to be able to catch up on that economy very, very simply, as the trolls moving in here. Still got those 6 trolls here, probably not that worth it at this point in the game to have those trolls, but they're still going to do some really great damage, as he can hold onto this position easily, as the priest getting doing some good damage onto that fire giant there, as we see some Herser moving in to try and get some damage done over on that position. We'll see if Matreiuss is going to swing his Herser around to attack this, or if he's going to be going after the gold mines over here instead. As the town center coming back up, we see the Nidhogg making its way over onto this location as the mummy snipes one of those fire giants nicely there. Granite blood coming through for Matreiuss as well, as he's got a whole bunch of units left over here in this position. He's in a fantastic position. We do see a handful of villagers on that gold mine, but Matreiuss, he is in hot pursuit. He's going to be dropping a longhouse down here, checking out every single gold mine. Is going to be vitally important here in this game. The dwarves moving up to the top gold mine over here will give Kimo the knowledge that that's what's happening. The chariot archers can move all the way around the outside without any knowledge and start hitting this gold mine as well. But the town center will be up. I'd love to see a hill fort get dropped at any point here from Matreiuss, as Matreiuss is waiting with these units. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Kimo is slowly getting up to his 160 population with a pretty strong army. Obviously, if Matreiuss can get himself out some ballista here to snipe down the pharaoh from far, snipe down the priest from far, the 2 mummies out means 2 myth units will be falling. There's so many myth units here for Matreiuss, however, as the town center does end up coming up. The heavy chariots are coming through onto this position to raid this, and Matreiuss isn't defending it. He's got himself 3 Herser over on this position. He can pull back and try and take out those chariot archers there, but as soon as he sees that raid, he almost has to push forward here and try and break through this army. We see the axemen, we see the spearmen, the mummies, the priests. Kimo's also got the chariot archers out. He's in a very, very tough position, but so too is Matreiuss. Both players here have to kind of work this one out. As the Hearse are moving through, Matreiuss does decide it's better to idle his dwarves at this moment and push forward with 5 chariot archers here. That's 15 population being idled on that situation there, with Kimo with 160 population at this point. The Herser need to push forward first and foremost to try and take out those mummies. The fire giants sitting in the back here trying to stay away as the Einiyar battle balls pushing forward. Kimo here, we'll see if he's going to be able to defend on this position as the fire giants moving backwards. The trolls trying to push in as the Nidhogg comes through here. The trolls here need to snipe the mummies down. I mean, just take the loss. Stop retreating. Take the loss. You're going to be losing a unit nonetheless as the mummies push through the units here, targeting that down. The mummy does end up getting taken out there. Beautiful play there by Matreiuss. The positioning is huge as another mummy coming around onto the side is Matreiuss paying attention here. It looks like he is not. Another fire giant spawns here. Is the mummy getting sniped down before the special attack comes through yet again? No. One fire giant falling there on that position. The priest and pharaoh doing some good damage from afar as more Hursa coming in onto this position as the villagers moving through here to grab this gold mine over on this position as Kimo's chariot archers do end up falling there to the town center after all is said and done. The trolls retreating back now at this point as Matreiuss doesn't feel like he can continue fighting here. He's absolutely winning in this fight, but he's deciding to retreat away. There's only a handful of those heroes here that literally, if he right-clicks the fire giant onto that priest here, he wins these fights incredibly easily. But he's just not. He's retreating back. The Nidhogg here looks like it was picked off as well after all is said and done. And Matreiuss back into the main base here. Does manage to snipe down all of those axemen with a big attack there as more Hursa coming out to try and chase down the pharaoh. Matreiuss is playing this very, very safe at this point. There's a market coming up here so that Matreiuss can trade some resources. It's 60 villages now, so technically speaking, he's probably in a relatively equal place in terms of economy after all is said and done in terms of income at this moment, but he still needs to get himself a hill fort and start making those ballaster. It's vitally important as the chariot archers moving across here. Will Matreiuss spot this or not? As he does, well, he does spot it as the Hursa going through there. The troll's going to come up here to try and defend on this position. As now Kimo's moving across the map. He's got himself 10 heroes here at this moment. Matreiuss now throwing up the hill fort. I would have preferred it on the gold mine. The trolls are in position here to take out those chariot archers as they're moving through. There's plenty of ox carts here to defend this position, so he's not going to be able to take those out fast enough as the fire giants come through here to defend this one. And Kimo still sitting on the back here, waiting, watching. You can't really let the Loki set up here. If the Loki sets up on the hill fort, he can start putting pressure onto this town center. He doesn't need to get himself, he doesn't need a gold star of the Ra at this point. He just needs to get himself those ballaster out as another hill fort coming up as the unit's starting to pull in onto this position. He will catch Matreiuss out here. Something fierce. And Matreiuss here, he's not quite got this up. The Hursa getting pushed back here as the fire giants coming through to hit a huge amount of damage onto those axemen. The axemen do retreat back, doesn't quite snipe them down as the hill fort still getting finished up here. Priest getting some good damage done as the fire giants on the back going to take out those units there as the trolls chasing the heavy chariots around there. The hill fort does get stopped there as Matreiuss, he needs that hill fort up as the axemen still getting sniped down here as the Hursa need to start diving in to take out those priests there as Matreiuss got to be kicking himself for the positioning of the hill forts there, not under a safe position at all. Iron Mail now coming through for Kimo. That's going to be a huge help against the fire giants as well as those Hursa as well. Magi Masons coming through as well. The villagers getting pulled off of the gold mine for the time being here as the chariot archers do have themselves champion chariots here as well. Kimo moving around the map as best as he possibly can to hold on here. As the chariots, they can dodge those fire giants nicely. The priest moving through onto this position. Matreiuss still has to move it around with those dwarves trying to figure this one out. Still trying to get this hill fort up on this position for some reason where the gold is just, it's so important here for Matreiuss. Does he have a hill fort up elsewhere? Yes, there it is. So he will start... he will be able to start making himself those ballaster. And here's the thing, at this moment here, Kimo does not have any pierce armor, though he is starting to get it as the fire giant defending on this position nicely. An ox cart falling there as two are remaining on this position as the Hursa pushing forward to try and take out the pharaoh on that position. There's really not enough units here at the moment for Matreiuss. He still doesn't have himself fortified town centers either as this hill fort still not coming up, with Kimo managing to block that with those axemen on that position. Meanwhile, on this location here, we see Kimo starting to put pressure onto this town center. And this is the hardest part to deal with for Norse against Egyptian, and why it's so important to get set up and force the flow of the game as the Norse player. Because if you get put on the back foot as Norse, it can be very, very tough. Walls up, towers up, Migdol up, siege here. Going to be really, really tough for Matreiuss to push out of. There's another hill fort coming out. And do we see those ballaster? Yes, we do. Obviously, what he's going to be wanting here. No ballaster out of this hill fort just yet. As the Migdol is up, Matreiuss will see that now. Walls coming up here, and he needs to almost reposition his army here. And the big thing for Matreiuss at the moment is the priests are all out of position here for Kimo. So Matreiuss can push through. He can take this Migdol out very, very simply with the Fire Giant here in this with that push. As the Ballast are coming up here, Matreiuss needs to set up walls first and foremost and towers as well if he wants to put pressure onto this town center here. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it. As the Axemen moving forward here, the Fire Giant are in to try and take out those Axemen that are in on this position here. He can obviously one-hit the catapult if he so chooses. As the Fire Giant pushing in, Matreiuss does pay attention there, and look at the damage as the Axemen almost get one bang there. As the Axemen all falling, the catapult goes down. The Migdol stronghold will fall very, very fast. We do see the walls set up here as the Ballaster is starting to get pressure done onto this position. The priests are, as we said, out of position here as they're moving straight past the town center. Going to be losing a lot of HP where that's concerned, as the villagers on this position getting cleaned up very fast by the Fire Giants to boot here. No attempt at building any siege here for Matreiuss just yet. As the Migdol stronghold going to get targeted down very, very quickly here. Priest getting cleaned up here as well. Walls are up on this position as Kimo, he's got to be concerned about this. Walls, towers, Fire Giant on this position is going to be tough, but so too is dealing with the pressure that Kimo can likely put onto this location as well. Good micro here from Matreiuss. There's a mummy now in on this position. Got to be careful about that one there. I do think the best way to play against the mummy is just to trade one mummy for one Fire Giant. If you've got enough Fire Giant, the mummy uses the special attack. You target the mummy. Both players lose one myth unit worth quite a lot of favor, and that can be a worthwhile way to play it, especially when Matreiuss is getting all of this favor from the Hearser on these positions. We see some villagers idled at this point back onto this gold mine over here. There's still gold at the top side over here as the Fire Giant gets taken out. Where did the Fire Giants go? They're back over onto this top position. I don't think that Matreiuss can abandon this town center at this point, as he might be able to push through and take this one out, but I don't think he can abandon this position here, as he absolutely has. We see the catapult breaking through, and Kimo is able to take the town center down. And when Norse loses a town center, Norse cannot get that town center back up. That's one of the big, big weaknesses of Norse in the late game, generally speaking. As we see the mummy coming through onto this position, Matreiuss trying to micro this one, trying to take out the Pharaoh and everything else over here, as the mummy does get cleaned up here by those Hearser. The priest, though, the double Pharaoh from Osiris, you're getting the new kingdom upgrade unique to Osiris, has managed to get two Pharaohs out to take out those Fire Giants on this position, but losing this town center is huge. Matreiuss is on a very, very short timer. I don't think he's going to be able to kill off this town center in time. It's got itself architects, it's got itself sun-dried mudbrick, it's got itself fortified town centers. It's absolutely huge. As the Ballaster rolling through here, the trade route is also set up for Kimo as he is motoring ahead. And what was that decision by Matreiuss? He could have sat here and defended while getting set up over here with towers and everything on this forward position, no problems. But he just gives it up, and Kimo claims the win here from, you just have to say, Matreiuss, he brain farted there. He had to clean this up. He had to set up better defenses here and maybe push back on this position while holding over here with towers and Ballaster and separating his army into two spots. He probably would have been able to secure this gold mine as well, and maybe also the gold mine in the corner. So he definitely had a long time to go here. I don't think that Kimo could have held this position if Matreiuss has started building Ballaster out of this hill fort here with the Fire Giant as well. I don't think that Kimo could have held here, and there was no way that this town center would have fallen for Matreiuss. While he was already set up over here, I don't think that Kimo would have been able to push through this location fast at all, especially with walls and towers being set up. Matreiuss's economy is really good at this point as well, and yet he just brain farts, and Kimo claims the win with Ra in this game, in this series, 2-0. What a series here. Matreiuss with the ultimate play, managing to clean up the Son of Osiris in the rock with that flaming weapons. He planned it out meticulously, and Kimo still manages to get away with it here in this game. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.